So in the following of our Django tutorials here, after we created the PDF files using our Django app, we're going to also work on creating Excel files. So in order to create the Excel files, we're going to do exactly the same steps, take those steps, and here inside of the my class folder and inside of my templates folder, I'm going to add a new item inside of my nav bar for a link to download our Excel file. So exactly the same data that we printed on our PDF sheets, we're going to also enter them inside of our Excel files. So right now let's get into our I think index.html, and here we need to find, yes, we have the download PDF. So let's create another item right in here and name this download. So you can name this download. Okay, let's call this download Excel. And for this one, download the Excel file. Download the Excel file. Oh, where did it go? So right here we are, and so download the Excel file. And here I think this should change colors. So anyway, let's save this. And now we have this link related to URL related to Excel download. So I got it. You need to just create a dash and link them together. So download Excel. So let me copy this into urls.py, and we need the kind of URL which is inside of my classmates folder, right? So here, let me take a look at here. So there we go. So instead of my app folder, which is the classmates, so right here I'm going to define a new path, and so this is called download Excel. Download Excel. So yeah, download Excel. And so we are also going to define a new function inside of our views.py. So views dot Excel download, Excel download, and then we're also going to name this URL just what we had written inside of our template. So download Excel. Also don't forget about the comma over here and also here. So now we need to add the Excel download to our views.py. So Excel download function inside of our views.py. So now let's get back to our templates and index.html. Here we have download Excel, and so everything is ready to go to the next step inside of our views.py. So here I'm going to create a new function and call this just the same as what we had written inside of the urls.py. Excel download, Excel underline download, and we will get the request, and just the same as what we did for our PDF generation, we're going to do exactly the same. So first of all, we're going to define the buffer variable, which we'll get from our IO library. So buffer equals to IO dot bytes IO. And then what we did inside of our PDF function was to to create the file. So right now we don't need to create the file. We will have a very different way of creating Excel file. Here we're going to use XLSX library. So I'm going to import it right over here. We also need to install it first. So let me get into our virtual environment. First, let's get back to bin folder, and here I'm going to write source space dot activate. Here we go, we've activated it, and let's cd back to my class folder. My class, cd my class, and now we need to install the pip install the XLSX writer. So I hope I've spelled it correct. Yes, it's collecting XLSX writer, and there we go, we've installed it right now. So let me clear the terminal, and there we go, we're ready to continue our code. So I want to import first XLSX writer. So I think it should be written with the capital letter also here. So I will have to check now because I'm not sure. So the correct form of writing XLSX writer is this way, and although Django is showing that could not be resolved, but don't worry because I have tested this in this virtual environment and it is already installed. And I also tested a file with this kind of library, and it successfully created an Excel file for me. So let's continue with our function here and continue with our development. So now let's create our workbook, or what we're going to call Excel file. So I'm going to call this workbook, and so I will use the XLSX writer dot workbook, or actually it's workbook, I think. So it's the first way was correct, so with the capital W, and then here we're going to write the name of our XLSX file. So I'm going to write the type of the file, and then here we're going to write, name it classmates, right, or class list. So class list, and so here we create the file, and now I'm also going to create a worksheet. And so I will use the workbook. So workbook dot worksheet. So the worksheet is dot add underline worksheet. And so we have it created. So now first of all we're going to create our data headers. So data headers is just the same as what we wrote for our PDF. These are the headings, the first row of our tables. So these are the names of what we're going to write, right? These are the headers. So the first one is the ID. The second one is the first name, and the third one is the last name. And then what did we get here? We had the email and the phone number. So email and phone number. So there we go, we have the data headers. And so we should also complete the other rows of our database or data inside of our Excel file. So in the next part, I'm going to explain how we can do that and how we can create our finalized Excel file. So that's it for this part of our tutorials, and in the next one it will continue.